Hey my friend, welcome to your chordal guitar lesson of the week. Today we come back to some basics of chord playing, but it's very important to master this aspect of playing chords, and I realize that many of my students still struggle with this, so I'm gonna do a lesson on it today. So let's start by playing the first chord that I show you in my free mini course. If you haven't taken my free course, it's the first link in the description box. It's completely free with exercises and chord charts and video lessons. So if I were you, I would take this course. So the first chord I show you in this course is called a spread triad, and it's played like this. So this is a C major spread triad. So what is a spread triad? Usually when we have a chord, we have 3 notes in the chord, right? All in order like this, the root, the third, and the fifth. So it sounds like this. Root, third, fifth. And when we make a spread triad, it means that in our case, we are going to take the middle note and spread it on top, so our voicing is larger and more open. So instead of root, third, fifth, it's root, fifth, third on top like this. So this is a really nice open voicing like this. But the really important technique to play is to mute the strings, because we are playing only 3 notes in this chord, right? On the 5th, the 4th, and the 2nd string. But we do not need to hear the 6th, the 3rd, and the 1st string. In our case, with this C major chord, it doesn't really matter if everything else rings, because all the open strings are the same notes as the fretted notes, right? This is a G, and the open string just below is a G. This is an E, and this is also an E. So if everything rings, it's not as bad as this could, but that's why we are going to practice it. And C sharp, so slide 1 fret higher. And now if everything else is ringing at the same time, this is going to be a train wreck. Wow, it should not ring here. So to show you the basics of muting the strings, I'm gonna show you a very specific angle of the fretboard. So now you see a top view of my fretboard. So the problem when you fret a C sharp major spread triad chord like this, if you play on the tip of your fingers to play it very cleanly, and most guitar teachers will tell you that you should play on the tip of your fingers and have them round and relaxed and never play like this, right? So it sounds very cleanly if I use an arpeggio. And if I play a scale like this, very cleanly on the tip of all my fingers. But the problem is that for a chord like this, we cannot play on the tip of our fingers, because it does that, all the other remaining strings are going to ring. And this is really not what we want. So what I do in this situation is, instead of playing on the tip of my finger, I'm gonna play on the flat part of my finger, the fretted note that I need, and especially with my index. So in this case, I need to play the 4th fret on the 5th string here. Instead of playing round with the tip of my finger, I'm gonna play with the flat part of my finger, and I'm gonna lay my index down so it mutes all of the other strings like this. So if I pick the note, all the other strings below it should be muted. Don't press too much, because if you do, it's gonna do a bar chord. We don't want this. We just want to be on top of the string so it mutes them. But now the problem with this is that I can still accidentally play my 6th string open, and this is not a note that I want. So what I do in this situation is that I will slightly move my finger, my index finger upwards until it touches the tip of the 6th string here, so that it can still mute it at the same time. So I'm gonna play one note and mute all of the other strings at the same time. So the first exercise you can do is to play your fifth string, make sure it's clean, and then you try all the other strings. To make sure they're all muted. And now you can place your ring finger and your pinky and make sure that the other ones are muted. Now I can have an harmonic, so I'm gonna move a little bit to the left. Right? So you don't have to play cleanly with those fingers too. You can slightly play them on the flat part of your finger here, and it's going to double mute. So in this case, my index is muting everything, and my ring and pinky are going to mute the string below them. So here I am playing on the fourth string, and I mute with my ring finger the third string. And my pinky, I play the second string, and I mute the first string because I don't play on the tip, but on the flat part. So it's like a double mute. So when you do this, you can really lean into it and play a big strum with all of the strings at the same time. So it's really great for that. So what you should do is place your index and then place the other ones, and you can play arpeggiated notes like this, and then arpeggiate the three notes that should be muted. Right? So this is something that you can practice, and that will make your chords ring and sound much better. And if you want a better and more complete exercise to play, you can play this C sharp major spread triad, then slide 2 frets higher and play the minor version of it. So this should be a D sharp minor spread triad. So this is going to be different now because you still need to do the technique where you are going to mute all the strings, but since it's a different shape, you have to get used to muting the strings with this shape also. And then I would play this chord right here. It's a weird name for the chord, but it's actually a B sharp diminished spread triad. So basically, this is the index on the 5th string, 3rd fret, your ring finger on the 4th string, 4th fret, and your pinky on the 2nd string, 4th fret also. This is called a B sharp and not a C, because in a C sharp major scale, you have C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp. So you have all sharps in it. So this would be called like this. So what I would practice is to play all of those 3 chords in a row with strums and with arpeggios like this. So I would do. So this looks like nothing, but this is a very difficult technique to practice. So this is something that if you're not comfortable with this, you should spend at least a few weeks at the beginning of this year to make sure that you really master it. So if you are really used to play on the tip of your fingers like this, just move your wrist a little bit and play more flat on the fretboard. Even with your scales, this is going to help a lot to mute the adjacent strings when you play, instead of playing very cleanly like this. So thank you for watching my lesson. This was a bit different than usual. So once again, if you want to learn more about those spread triads, learn more shapes, and especially have more exercises so you can play and practice muting the strings like this, you should get my free mini course, which is at the bottom first link in the description box. You have some downloads of chord charts and exercises where I show you many kinds of chord progressions that you could use to practice this, because if you practice the same exercise over and over again, it could get old a little bit. So take my free mini course, go download the exercises, and you have, I think, 8 or 10 chord progressions that you could try and practice muting your strings with this. So if you have any other questions or struggles, use the comment section also to ask me questions. Thank you very much for watching my lesson, and until next time, au revoir.